Hey there, YouTube supporters. It's Robert once again coming to you and bringing you some information on this insidious, narcissistic Jezebel spirit that is running rampant in relationships, in organizations, in the nation, and of course, potentially even affecting your life. Today, what I want to talk to you about is I want to talk about the narcissist and the projection of failure on its victims. The narcissist and the projection of failure on its victims. Now, when we talk about failure, one of the areas that I want to talk about is what's called automatic failure syndrome. Okay, sometimes referred to as near success syndrome, and that is a syndrome that is evil. It's demonic, and it's based on a mindset that one has that has opened the door to spirits of destruction in one's life, that has them believe that they are a failure or that they will ultimately fail at something. That just at the point of success, that they will always have a pullback or a pushback. It's as if, and perhaps you felt this way, if you've ever felt like you're almost getting your breakthrough or you're almost getting to the point where you're going to succeed, but you consistently pull back. Sometimes even in relationships, we find that we connect with some people, we kind of get excited about that, but at some point you feel that the world is collapsing on you. Perhaps some anxiety sets in. You kind of really feel like you're pulling back, like I can't go any further in this relationship. If you've been attacked, if you've had gaslighting techniques or the triangulation techniques of a narcissist, and of course certainly the control, manipulation, intimidation, and domination from a narcissist come against you, then your mindset may be very toxic as it pertains to how you view yourself. So if that's the case, what's going to end up happening is you'll never see yourself ever becoming a success. A case in point would be if you were married to a narcissist, and let's just say that relationship, that marriage ends. Maybe you had a couple kids or what have you. It went on for several years, maybe 10, 15 years. You now find yourself, after everything and all the craziness you've gone through, you find yourself divorced. But now there's something in you that says, well, this is it. I'm done. I'll never have another relationship. I'll never get married to somebody else. Why? Because the narcissist projected failure on you. The narcissist would have said something like, you know, you're done. Look how old you are. Look how many kids you have. Look at the stretch marks you have, or whatever it may be. You'll never, ever enter into a healthy relationship. Without me, of course, you'll never have anything. That's narcissistic projection of failure. Now, this is a curse that is actually projected on a person. So if you've been involved with those that are narcissistic, and perhaps you're one that's codependent, which is very, very common, then your dependency of who you are relied heavily on the person that you were in a relationship with, in this case, the narcissist. So the narcissist would say good things, of course, at the beginning of the relationship to lure you into the web of destruction, to have you feel somewhat valuable. But of course, you and I both know that very quickly that turns to a place of manipulation and control. Again, the gaslighting techniques that are used, the triangulation that's used, and all that's designed to basically bring about a devaluing state in your life. Once the devaluation is done, then of course the discard stage begins, and then ultimately the destruction stage. But how does this narcissistic projection of failure, how does this actually work? Well, we can do it to ourselves by actually believing the words spoken to us by those that are narcissistic. So perhaps you had a narcissistic parent. Perhaps, again, you were in a narcissistic relationship. And those words that were told to you over that time, whether even when you were young by your parents, and then ultimately maybe you married a narcissist or got into a relationship with a narcissist. If those words that were spoken to you, if you actually take those words and own those words, then what you'll end up doing is you'll find yourself ultimately speaking those words out as well. Okay? And this is what we would call a self-imposed word curse. If you find yourself saying, I can't do anything right, I'm beyond help, I'm hopeless, I'm no good, I'm useless, okay? I know that if I get to this place, I know that I'm never going to get through. I'm going to get to a certain point, and there's always going to be pushback. If I get the job, I'll ultimately lose my job. I'll never be able to overcome this problem. I can't afford anything. I'm just destined to fail. I'll never accomplish anything. So if that has been projected to you and you've taken that, then you're going to find yourself saying things like that. Now the Bible is very clear: as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So again, if you've taken the words that have been spoken by a narcissist, where you've been blamed, you've been belittled, you've been ridiculed, you've been attacked, you've been controlled, manipulated, intimidated, dominated. But ultimately those words, they used to say when we were kids, sticks and stones can break your bones, but names will never hurt me. Absolutely not true. And again, when you're engaged with a narcissist in a relationship, that spirit operating in that person is going to release very negative words, a lot of criticism, a lot of demeaning words, a lot of sarcasm, just basically words that if you allow them, they will get deep into your soul, into your mind, and as a man thinks, so is he. So we have to be careful what comes out of our mouth, even after or post that Jezebelic relationship or narcissistic relationship that you're in. You have to be very, very careful what you speak. You don't want to be in agreement because of a soul tie with a narcissist. So if your soul was tied to a narcissist, and that narcissist was saying very mean, evil, rude, cruel, and demonic things towards you that devalued you, had you thinking that you had no worth, you felt inferior, you felt less than, you were really beat down. If you believe those words and you begin to talk those words, and that becomes really a self-imposed word curse. Okay? Now, what the narcissist will do is say things to you during the relationship. And of course, those of you that I'm speaking to, if you've been in that relationship or you've come out of that relationship, you know precisely what I'm talking about. Now, again, this can be a marriage. It can be a husband or a wife. It can be a family member, specifically a mom or a dad. And if that's the case, you would hear things growing up like, you were born in an accident. You're clumsy. You're stupid. You're just dumb. We should have drowned you at birth. Okay. Now, again, all of this from the narcissist's perspective is to project that on you. Because remember, the winning game for a narcissist is to basically ensure that they're here and you're there. And they do that by condescending talk. They do that by a lot of criticism and, of course, a lot of demeaning words. So this can come from parents. It can come from other family members that may be narcissistic as well. Okay? And again, things like you were born stupid. You were born by accident, or you're clumsy, you're stupid, you can't put one foot in front of the other without tripping. You'll never get it anywhere, or so on. Okay? But then we move on in life, and if we haven't ensured that we have self-validated and affirmed ourselves, if we haven't gone through the healthy routine of renewing our mind and discovering ourselves, who we really are in God, in Christ, then we could enter into a relationship with a narcissist who now is going to, once again, begin to project failure on us. So, for example, you may have heard when you were young that you were born in an accident, okay? You're clumsy and stupid. That is giving a foundation of failure. But when you engage in a relationship or get married and somebody begins to tell you, you're hopeless, there's just no hope for you. Gosh, look at you. Look at how you look. You know what? You're just too old to have children. If you're not married, and let's just say it's a relationship, you know what? You're just too old for me to marry. What that is saying is it's speaking of failure. Okay? A narcissist can even project failure as far as your health. Look at you. You're always sick. You're going to be just like everybody else that does that, or you're going to be like your parents and you're going to die young. This is projecting failure, and in that case, death and destruction. Okay? It could be that you're never going to reach the age of 65. Well, look at your family. They died in their 60s. So you're never going to reach retirement. You're never going to reach the age of 65. Again, these are very subtle and sly words, but it's projecting failure because, again, if you keep thinking about like that, you're going to be thinking, well, maybe I'm not going to reach the age of 65. Maybe I'll never have children. Maybe I'll never get married. Maybe I am hopeless, whatever it may be. Of course, a narcissist can simply just say, you are a failure. Look at you. You fail at everything. Well, everything's a very strong word, and you know as well as I know, you don't fail at everything. But a narcissist will look to have you think that you're a failure. If you spell the word wrong, a narcissist is going to make certain that you know that you failed in that. If you added something wrong, or divided, or subtracted, or multiplied, whatever it may be. If you wrote something wrong, if you used the wrong word, whatever it is, a narcissist is going to look to pick at everything you do and ascribe failure to it. If you cleaned the house, if you washed the clothes, if you ironed the clothes, if you went to the store and you bought groceries, a narcissist is going to find something that can introduce failure into your soul to where it can get deeply embedded in your soul to where you can see or look at yourself as a failure. A lot of people I talk to, we coach dozens of people throughout the week that are suffering from the attacks, the insidious attacks of a narcissist, or those that are bound by the spirit of Jezebel, witchcraft being released against them. Just their relationships are just really, really a lot of havoc, a lot of concern. Many people suffering from rejection. They're kind of with their wits' end, don't really know what to do. Well, we coach these people. We work with these people on a weekly basis, among other people. Definitely we work with couples. But one of the things that I'm finding is that when they come out from that relationship, whether it was a divorce or maybe it's just a separation, but when they come out from that relationship, they have a tremendous view that they are a failure. How could I have done this? And then they begin to beat themselves up. Well, remember, in just about all cases in the relationship with a narcissist, that person was beating you down, beating you down, beating you down. Okay, once the honeymoon stage was over, then it was all about discarding. And to discard from a narcissistic perspective is to beat you down and beat you down, beat you down. Okay? To discard you, to devalue you, to ultimately destroy you through the words, essentially getting you to believe that you are indeed a failure. Okay? So no matter, you can never do anything right. I guarantee you. So those of you that are listening to me right now, you're saying that's right. You can never do anything right. If you looked wonderful, something had to be pointed out that was negative. Okay? If you made a great dinner, great plans, went on a wonderful vacation, something is pointed out that introduces or projects failure into your life. So a narcissist is notorious for saying you are a failure or you'll never be successful. I'm successful, but you'll never be successful. And then, of course, when the relationship gets to close to being finished, or there's an end to it, or even thereafter, then the narcissist is going to continually pester you. Okay, ultimately they're going to look to stalk you in any way, shape, or form, whether it's physically or through email or text, whatever, and remind you that you are a failure. Okay. And if you get married again, if they know about it, they will say that your marriage will be an epic failure. Again, and that you're horrible, you're deplorable, you'll never make it, you'll never start a business, you'll never recover. In the area of finances, they'll let you know, they'll project that failure on you, that you will never recover. Because to a narcissist, remember, everything is about them. So even your financial well-being was always tied to them. Everything's tied to them. If you had money, it was because of them. If you had health, it was because of them. If you had happiness, it was because of them. Everything was about them. So independent from a narcissist, you are a failure, and the narcissist is going to let you know that. So what do we do? Well, there's a lot more to talk about, and we'll do that perhaps in another video. But the main thing that you need to do is you need to come out of agreement with those word curses, or those projected word curses by a narcissist. And the way that you do that is you renounce all those toxic words that have been spoken against you. You cut the cord, you cut the spiritual and soulish tie with the narcissist or with that relationship. Sometimes even having to go back to your childhood if this is where this stuff originated. And then begin to renew your mind and begin to see yourself differently. Begin to see yourself as valuable. Begin to see yourself as worthy. If not, then again, the narcissist can even die, but the narcissist will speak from the grave. And we'll do a video about that as well. So again, just wanted to throw that to you today. Again, we're talking about the narcissistic projection, or the narcissist projection of failure in your life. Break free from it. If you need help, give us a call, 614-428-5550. Again, 614-428-5550. We are here to help. Or you can simply go to our website, snumbersministries.com, learn more about what we do. And then, of course, if you would like to be coached through this, go to the link that talks about coaching and set up your appointment today. Well, until that time, listen, God bless you. We appreciate you guys. Hit the like button below. Put some comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We'll talk to you next time around. Thanks for coming by. Bye-bye now.